be going on a tour with architect Patrick Ahearn. We'll be looking at one of his most recent projects on Navy Way in the Katama section of Edgartown on the island of Martha's Vineyard. This is an interesting house because it's an upside-down house, meaning all the major living spaces are on the second floor to take advantage of the view.
This is a gambrel style house, and the trick was how to come up with an architecture that didn't look like it was a giant balloon on the second floor with a small amount of square footage on the first floor. Living space was probably an increase of about 1,000 square feet.
We head to the backyard to take a closer look at the design challenges of the second floor porch.
We're looking at the second floor porch that really is an outdoor living room. It works off of the kitchen and the breakfast area. So the challenge was how to deal with a porch space above habitable living space. And as we look down, this whole assemblage is very much in the cottage vernacular. Some of the details are reminiscent of a house in Montauk, Long Island that McKinley and White had done in the turn of the century. Where the original foundation was in place, we actually used 1-inch thick cut brick as an applique, and then where we poured new foundations, we used full dimension brick as a way to tie into a theme that made the house look older.
We move from the backyard to the western exterior of the house, where the maritime design themes become more apparent.
The primary element is the large bay window, which is reminiscent of the back of an old pirate boat, kind of a Pirates of the Caribbean detail that you might find on a boat in Katama.
And that echoes also the maritime theme of the porch.
It does. It's another one of those subtle elements that are somewhat exaggerated. And we use the transom glass on top of the large cottage-style windows, the 6/1s. It really works well with this gambrel elevation that has the oversailing eaves, the large frieze board that runs around the frame, the natural shingles, and the use of cornice molding. And then the underside of the bay has an inset panel that, again, recalls a certain level of fit and finish.
The primary living area is on the second floor. As we enter the house, we see how the formal design of the entryway emphasizes movement to the upstairs space.
We needed to develop an entranceway and a sense of arrival that was responsive architecturally to the formality of the entranceway. So what we developed was a series of paneled walls at the first floor height that defines the entranceway and the arrival. We used a more formal stair detail. This is known as a volute. We have barley twist balustrades with fluted additional balustrades, again, taking on a more formal attitude when you first arrive. As you look and you see the stained nosing of the hardwood floor, we use that idea to run around the entranceway to define the first floor formality, but then carried the beadboard height all the way up to the second floor as a gesture, and the balustrade railing comes around. So you're clearly drawn to say, what's upstairs?
This is an upside-down house, meaning all the main living areas are on the second floor to take advantage of the view.
The kitchen informal gathering area is on this end, with the screen porch, outdoor living room, reception arrival area, and beyond is the living room and fireplace, and which ultimately resolves itself with the high bay window. The goal of the client was to have 90+% of glazing along the whole outside wall of the house, and how to develop a glazing system that would be responsive to an historical approach to the house. So we came up with the idea of exaggerating a Nantucket dormer, which is basically 2 gabled dormers with a shed dormer in the middle. We also needed to have access out to the large deck, windows that would open, get as much light as possible. So what we did is we designed these custom mahogany French doors that actually emulate the pattern of the double-hung windows on either side. It may look fairly simple, but it was fairly complicated to make it all happen with various different manufacturers and custom doors as well.
Lastly, we walk to the master bedroom, which is the only bedroom on the second floor.
This is the master bedroom suite, which is really above the garage wing. It has an entrance area, arrival, dressing room, a very large bedroom chamber that we're in right now that affords the ability to have a small seating group, living room type area in the bedroom chamber itself. We've got built-ins and drawers and dressers all built into the eaves. Again, although the scale is smaller, we still use the bead board as a way to reinforce the cottage vernacular. And then, of course, the master bath with its own separate soaking tub and shower is immediately off the dressing area.
And I noticed that, consistent with the theme of the house, above the doorway we have this transom glass.
Right, albeit in a smaller scale, it's another way to unify some of the architectural features found in the house. Likewise, the color palette that we used throughout the entire house is a color I came up with a few years ago. It's 50% china white, 50% linen white, and it gives a very nice patina to the house where it feels as though it's white, but it's also very warm, and the color takes on the color of whatever furniture or fabrics are around it.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
My pleasure. Thanks again.